Welcome to No Shot Sports. We changed our name, whole thing. Doesn't really matter. But we're
The same
back.
people,
Start.
so
What'd you say?
they're still the same people.
Same people, different name. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. More clickability. It's just we actually have a logo now. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Sorry for the hiatus, but like I said, we're college students, stuff like that. It doesn't always work out, but we'll post as much as we can. But I'm Danny. Dan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I just want to really quickly go back on the last episode I said at a history midterm. I would just like our audience to know that I had the highest score in the class with a 46 out of 50.
Woo! Let's
Yeah.
go. I actually just got 100 on a paper.
Nice.
It's cool. Matt, how you doing, man?
I actually just got a 50 on a paper, so I'm
Oh,
Yes.
nice. Yeah.
Vibing. That's the frat
I'm
life.
good. I'm good.
That's the frat life. All right. Not a lot of basketball news, not a lot of news with students to go over. So today's gonna be a fully NFL podcast, which is like, great because it'll be shorter for everybody listening. That'll be dope. But we got some big news that we missed. The Dolphins, the Eagles, and the Niners. Basically a 3-team trade. The Dolphins trade back from 3, going back to 12, and then trading up to 6. So they could still definitely take a quarterback. Full trade details. The 49ers get the 3rd overall pick this year. The tweet's loading up for me. The Niners get the 3rd pick this year. The Eagles get the 12th pick this year, and Miami's 4th rounder in 2021 and Miami's 1st rounder in 2022. And the Dolphins get the 6th pick this year, a 5th pick from Philly this year, the Niners 1st and 3rd next year, and a 1st in 2023 from the Niners. So, in my opinion, Dolphins complete fleece.
Dolphins are always fleecing everyone.
Yeah, dude, they fleeced the Texans. They basically flipped Laramie Tunsil for a handful of picks.
For 4 first-round picks.
It absolutely crazy. I mean, they also gave up another first in the deal, which in 2022, like next year.
They got like their worth for it.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
They're playoff ready, kinda. Yeah, they are.
More or less.
And in my opinion, I think that the Eagles are just the flat losers of this 3-way trade.
Yeah, I mean they traded back. What else did they give up? Did they give up like another? They gave up a 5th. I know that, but they didn't give up much more.
Yeah, they gave up the 5th rounder in 2021, and that was it.
That was it. The 5th rounder and a 6th pick, and they got a 1st in the future. So honestly, I think the Niners are a big loser in this deal.
I mean,
Niners gave up a lot. The Niners gave up a lot.
Yeah, they did.
If anybody's a loser in this deal, it's the Niners. I mean, they're gonna
they gave what, 3 picks to Miami and 1 to Philly.
They gave the 12th pick went to Philly, and then they gave
3 of those were first rounders.
Yes, they gave up 3 first rounders in this deal. They gave up their 1st this year, the 1st next year, and the 1st the year after that.
Jeez.
Just to move up to 3. But this draft is insanely stacked. In my opinion, this is a draft where you don't want to be near. If you don't have number 1, you don't want to be near the top. Because I mean, just if you draft like the Jets, if you draft Zach Wilson and then Justin Fields turns out to be a stud, it's gonna turn out to be a bad draft pick. Even though like if Trevor Lawrence doesn't turn out to be good, it's not gonna be a bad draft pick by the Jags, just because it's so easy that he's the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
So like having teams in like the teams like the 11 to 20 range, you can't really like if you get a bad pick, it's the 11 to 20 range, but the odds that your pick is going to be really good is still really high. Mm-hmm. So in this kind of draft class, it's great to have a low pick, and it's great to have multiple later round picks. Like as a Steelers fan, I would love if we traded out of the 1st round and got multiple picks for our 1st. Just because I want us to take offensive line, re-sign James Conner, take offensive line, and we could get so much of that in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, just because it's such a deep class. And it's better to pay guys cheaper. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that's a huge trade. We saying Dolphins clear winner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what other picks that San Francisco has in this upcoming draft. I don't know how many seconds they have, but I don't know. I mean, this could work out in the long run for them. I mean, I still think that them trading up to the 3rd was the best thing that they could have done, because I don't think that I think they thought that they had that guy in Jimmy G a couple of years ago, but I don't think that they have a guy right now to build a whole offense around. And and whoever they pick with that third overall is going to be that guy that they're going to wind up building an offense around. Similar to how I'm not following the Niners, I guess, as closely as I should be, but I'm assuming that they would be building a defense around Nick Bosa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I completely agree. Jimmy G just hasn't turned out to be the arm talent that the Niners really wanted him to be. I think any one of us could hop into the Niners and be the same amount of an NFL quarterback as Jimmy G is right now. Nothing against Jimmy G. That's just the offensive scheme. Like he snaps the ball and hands it off and passes for 100 yards a game with throwing the ball underneath to fast guys. I think if we had an offensive line, we could all do that. But like I feel like they're definitely going to take a quarterback in this spot, which is good. But they already said Jimmy G is going to be their starter next year. So are they going to do a Patrick Mahomes situation where you take a guy in the first round, and in this case, early in the first round, and you play him behind your quarterback already? So I think that'd be great, especially for a guy like Zach Wilson if he doesn't go number 2. You give him a year to digest the playbook, digest the offensive game plan, and then go out there and shine his first year starting. I think that'd be great. But I mean, you just got to look at what else they're giving up. They gave up 3 first-round picks in this deal just to move up. You know what I mean? When you could have stuck with Jimmy G and tried to put a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, get another probably secondary weapon or another outside threat and go back. You know what I mean? Like you kind of just gave it all up for your future, but you gave up your future for your future, which doesn't make sense to me.
Right. And what makes me nervous with that is, you can always say that your starter is going to be your starter. I'm going to, as a Giant fan, I'm going to use Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. In that 2019 season, Manning was the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Down the line, last couple of games, Jones winds up taking Eli's spot.
Yeah.
Same thing with Miami this season too, where Fitzpatrick started and then down the line Tua took over.
Yeah, and they flip-flopped a lot.
But one of the issues with that, that they didn't have between Manning and Jones that San Francisco won't have is that sure, Jimmy Garoppolo is a veteran, but most of his career to this point he spent backing up Tom Brady. So he doesn't have that much on-field experience to really be able to coach whoever this young quarterback that they bring in is unlike Manning and Jones, or even if Danny, if Pittsburgh was to take a quarterback, they would have Ben Roethlisberger to learn and be a mentor and mentor. Yes.
Yeah.
They don't exactly have that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Jimmy G, like he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have the on-field experience. Even last year, he was hurt most of the year.
Right.
But I think the one shining spot is when he was their full-time starter, they made the Super Bowl. And then they got a high draft pick and got Nick Bosa. Like, I think that they definitely have a good thing going there in San Francisco, but I don't know if this trade's just good for them overall, especially if they take a quarterback instead of a guy that could really help them win. I think it's better off in their position to trade your picks or players because you're not always guaranteed to hit on a draft pick. So if they just traded their 12th pick and then all these other picks that they traded and made a splash for a big player, could have worked.
I think the Niners should have waited. I think they should stick it out with Garoppolo. I mean, a few years ago, the Niners were like terrible, and just late in the season, they got Garoppolo and played him, and he was undefeated, which led to that enormous contract that he got. Did he deserve it? No. I mean, teams should stop doing that. If your quarterback plays like decent for 4 games, he doesn't deserve $100 million. But I don't know. I think the Niners should have waited because, like you said, they did go to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo being that full-time starter. I mean, he was hurt all last season. Why not try it again? Your defense is still young and amazing. So I don't know. I think them trading for that 3rd pick is dumb because they could completely bosh. If they take Trey Lance, like, who knows what he has to offer,
Exactly. Like I said, you're not guaranteed to hit on a draft pick.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
you're guaranteed to hit on a pro player that you already trade for that's seasoned and can fit your team. Like if they traded for, I'm not even going to throw out a player because I have no clue. I have no clue who's worth that many picks, but still, a good guy, a good safety, a good corner, something that seems like they need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But moving from one quarterback discussion to the next, let's talk about the Sam Darnold trade. A guy that I really wanted the Steelers to try to get because I would love to move on from Ben, as I've made very clear. But the Sam Darnold has been traded to the Panthers for what was it for? I believe it was
Second, fourth, and sixth.
a sixth this year and a fourth and second next year, correct?
Yes.
I thought it
Yes.
was I know the second is next year, but
Yeah. I don't. It was a sixth, fourth, and a second. It was that combination of picks, but
pretty trade.
it was a great
was it?
trade. It was a great
Sorry.
trade for both sides, if we're being
Yeah,
honest.
definitely.
I'm trying to figure out.
Sam Darnold gets a change of location, which I feel
With
like he
great
desperately
offensive
needs.
coordinator.
Exactly, and a great head coach in my opinion, Matt Rule.
Yeah. 100%.
Dominated college and then moved to the NFL. I mean, it's not his fault that he had a bad season with all the injuries and a bad quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater.
He's not really a super young defense. Like he drafted all defense, and that defense is young and promising. But
Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns, they got a really
yeah.
solid defense.
Derek Brown.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about Derek Brown. But honestly, it's a great trade for both sides. Sam Darnold, in my opinion, still has a lot to prove in the NFL. But I mean, if you look at highlights, anybody looks good, but it really makes him look like a competent quarterback out there, especially if they can get a solid offensive line around him. I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey, you got offensive threats that you already have around him.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if you get an offensive line, he can be very, very good. I mean, he's go ahead.
Maybe take Kyle Pitts with that pick that they got. I mean, that'd be great. That'd be huge.
Dude, I love Kyle Pitts. I'm on the Kyle Pitts hype train.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, Pitts falling to 8 is possible.
It's definitely possible.
Very possible.
I mean, I see him going earlier. I see him going around 5, 6 range.
Well, you gotta watch now because after San Fran got the third, excuse me, it was reported that Atlanta said that they'd be willing to trade the fourth. So you almost got to wonder if somebody might even trade up to take him at 4.
I mean, I think if you're trading up to 4, you're getting a quarterback.
Getting that quarterback.
Exactly. I feel like
which I'm kind of surprised about because but I guess Atlanta's not giving up on Matt Ryan.
I mean, they're definitely one piece. In my opinion, they're one piece away on defense, not really offense. They got a very solid offense, in my opinion, but they're one piece away on defense from really being back into that race to maybe make a Super Bowl, which I mean, I completely doubt. I feel like yeah, 100% possible, but I feel like the AFC is the Chiefs to lose, and I feel like it's going to be like that until Tyreek Hill leaves or until somebody else leaves. But I mean, you got Mahomes locked down there. But I mean, Kyle Pitts is great in my opinion, but we'll go back to Sam Darnold. I could see Sam Darnold having a Drew Brees-like career, maybe not stats-wise, but hitting his prime late and then really dominating in his prime. Like Drew Brees didn't really hit his prime until he was around 30. And then he peaked around like 30, which is not very common in quarterbacks, especially nowadays. But I could really see Sam Darnold taking his time to adjust to the league, and then once he adjusts, he could be a very, very serviceable quarterback. But yeah, like we said, good trade for both sides. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I just want to say something about like the whole draft, like the first 10 picks, because this is crazy. Realistically, the first 4 picks could be quarterbacks, just back to back.
I think
I was thinking the same thing.
I think
that opens up 5 to 10, because honestly, maybe Mac Jones is in the top 10, which is super possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leaves the whole first 5 to be all skill based. Plus, we have crazy wide receivers that are going to go, and then offensive linemen like Penei Sewell, and then linebackers in the mix too. So it's just crazy what could go down.
Honestly, my crazy prediction for the draft is if Penei Sewell doesn't get taken by the Bengals, he drops a lot.
That's what I heard too.
Because apparently not a lot of teams are very high on him because he's super, super raw. Even though he's the youngest lineman in the draft and has the highest potential out of all of them, he's still super raw. He's not amazing at anything yet, but he shows the potential to be. So he could definitely, if he doesn't get taken, do the Bengals have the 5th pick?
5th, yeah.
Yeah, I think they have 5th. If he doesn't get taken 5th, I could definitely see him dropping out of the top 10.
That's crazy.
And not being the first tackle taken. Like I can really see that happening, but like this draft is insanely stacked. It's I mean it's the first draft that I've really paid attention to, and I mean I've just become more of a football fan.
Right.
But this draft is absolutely stacked in basically every position on offense.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Danny, I'd
running
like
back, but still.
I would just like to make 2 points really quickly.
Mhm.
Going back to what you said, you were right. Drew Brees was 30 when he won that Super Bowl in 2009. So you're right. You know, his prime went in his 30s. I can definitely see something like that happening to Sam Darnold as long as he has the right people and the right coaches around him.
Exactly.
And I remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about this. We were talking about how there were a lot of because it was Alabama's pro day, and a lot of good things being said about Jones, and they were saying within the top 15. And if I'm not even going to count Jacksonville, New York. I don't even know if I want to rule out San Francisco, but I mean, Lawrence is a lockup at number 1 going to Jacksonville, right?
100% guaranteed.
Okay. And
I
then
would bet the
we
house.
all think that it's going to be Zach Wilson going to the Jets. Wouldn't surprise me if they take Justin Fields, but I feel like we all just because that'd be such a New York Jet thing to do. But
It'd be a
we all
Jets
think
pick.
it's going to be Zach Wilson going.
100%.
I've seen multiple reports saying that apparently San Fran runs a similar offense to
Bama.
to the University of Alabama. Yeah. And outside of that, the only teams that within the top 15 that I could realistically see wanting to take a quarterback would probably be Denver at the 9, Dallas at 10, Minnesota at 14, and New England at 15. I would have said Carolina at 8, but that was obviously before they just got Darnold from New York.
Dallas isn't taking a quarterback.
Yeah, not with
They got Dak Prescott. They
exactly. Yeah, they locked up Dak. I don't see the Patriots taking quarterback either.
Possible, but
I think it's possible, but in my opinion, it's crazy that like Mac Jones will be a first round pick. He's a lock to be a first round pick at this point. I don't think he's a first round pick talent quarterback, but I feel like in this kind of draft where there's some
risk.
Exactly, there's so many teams that need quarterbacks. Plus, the first 4 picks are all gonna be quarterbacks. I could see Mac Jones could be a top 10 pick, like Matt said. Like that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
Man's gonna get paid.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this whole like just offensively, like there's so much talent. If you think about it, 5 quarterbacks could go in the top 10, at least 3 receivers in Waddle, Smith, and
Jamar
Chase, and a tight end,
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
plus offensive
running
line.
backs, no, and then offensive line, obviously, you gotta keep those in mind.
The first top 10 picks could all be offense.
That's crazy. And then literally like with a pick like in the 20s range, you could get like a star-studded defensive player.
Exactly, or running back. Like
and that streak of 10 offensive guys could snap right at 11 if the Giants decide to take Gregory Rousseau.
Yes. I would love the Giants to take Greg Rousseau. I feel
like the Giants, so I hope they just come. I hope they fail. I hope they take like some.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. We all know I'm a Steelers fan. So
Giants fan. So
I like one Giants fan. I like one. He's on the podcast.
One Giants.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
No way. Who is he?
It's you.
The guy next door to me.
Wow.
Yeah, but I feel like Jalen Waddle would be the perfect pick for the Giants. In my opinion, my crazy opinion, Jalen Waddle's the number 1 receiver in the draft. I feel like he has way highest potential. He's shown jump ball. I mean, dude, you don't think of Jalen Waddle. You think of him as a deep threat. You think of him as a fast guy that can get behind the safeties and catch a ball. Jalen Waddle can 100% be a jump ball receiver in the right system.
Oh, yeah.
In the right system, he can be a rack catch receiver where he catches the ball, makes moves after the play, like a Deontay Johnson, like literally most fast receivers in the league, like Mecole Hardman, guy that grabs the ball and runs. Like Jalen Waddle can literally do anything with a football. And I think that he's going to be the best receiver in the draft class come the end of all their careers. Like,
I mean, don't forget about Smitty though, the Slim Reaper. The only thing that I will say,
I love Devontae Smith. I love
the
Jamar
only thing
Chase
I will
also.
say that Waddle has over Smith is obviously he's got that height advantage. So if there's a ball that's going high, Waddle's got a better catch percentage of having to jump up for one compared to Smith.
But also Devontae Smith's got the lanky arms.
Yeah. He's like a better Robbie Anderson in my opinion.
He reminds me of DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe not play style, but build.
I mean, the only thing that sorry, Danny, Matt, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say with Dan. I just agree with Danny 100%. Like D Hop, like low key, like that was a good call.
Just build wise, not even
Yeah,
not play
100%.
wise.
Yeah, build wise, yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing that worries me is his injury. And he kind of tweaked whatever it was in that national championship game against Ohio State. So you got to hope he probably will be, considering the fact that he's had some time off, but you want to make sure that your high first overall pick is going to be in healthy condition and able to play in his first season.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. But also teams are going to look at that and be like, hey, we're going to take this guy, but we're going to sit him because we don't want to risk his entire career on our hands by playing him too early. Like, I don't think there's not many NFL teams that are going to push a rookie to play just because, they're a rookie. They want him to get out there and win an award. Like they're going to take guys' health into consideration. So who do you guys want your teams to take in the first round? We've all looked at these prospects. We've all done some research, probably me more than you guys, because I've been following this draft for months and months and months. But like, who do you guys want your teams to take?
I don't even know. I mean, with the 20th pick, the Chicago Bears are pretty much beat. No quarterback.
Y'all got Andy Dalton. Don't worry about that.
I know. I mean, we do have the red rifle, but
dude, his hair matches your jerseys.
He does. I mean, he will look very stylish in our jerseys, but
he's gonna blend in.
I don't know if that'll win us games. So
it might, dude. They might get distracted and they'll be like, "Wow, this guy looks really good," and then just never sack him.
Yeah. Oh God. But yeah. With our pick, realistically, we're taking a tackle. We need one to replace Bobby Massey, and
it's smart.
I'm not familiar with the tackles. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know who's good or not, especially like having that 20th pick. Like
Jalen Mayfield.
Is he good?
He's so good.
That's my guy. I'm all on him. Let's get him.
He was mocked to go to the Steelers in so many mock drafts, and then he was mocked to go higher, like around the Bears pick, because he's very good. And he's probably, I think he's one of the only tackles that I've actually like watched tape of, not like highlights, stuff like that, like actual game tape. Mm-hmm. And man, he's so good.
That'd be great.
Like he's big and he can run block. He can blindside block. Like he's so good.
I want a Mekhi Becton like player on this team.
Oh, you want a big tackle. You want a big tackle. I love Mekhi Becton too, man. If there's any tackle that's fun to watch, it's him and Tristan Wirfs.
All the new guys from the last draft class are like,
they're so athletic. They're so fast.
Great draft too. Like it was fun to watch. They showed all like the clips and like jumping out of pools and like carrying, like just like wheeling fucking trucks. Oh my bad, my language. But yeah, they were just like holding like trucks and stuff. Like these guys are crazy.
The athletes, man. Yeah. Dan, who you want the Giants to take?
There's really three people on my list that I'd like the Giants to take with that 11th overall pick. Number one for me, the edge from Miami, Gregory Rousseau. We mentioned him earlier.
So good. So raw, but so good.
Ooh. Next, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name, but Jeremiah, the linebacker from Notre Dame. Heard a lot of good things about him. It's like Owusu-Koramoah. Yes.
Yeah, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind the Giants picking him up. And then I'm just gonna wrap it up. I mean, first I was gonna say I'm gonna say Waddle. If for some reason Smitty doesn't get picked, but I bet you that he'll get picked before Waddle.
Waddle will be the third receiver taken.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't mind, because at the moment the Giants really, I mean, I think that the Giants have three really good receivers. People really just are now focusing on Golladay and Shepard, but I think that Darius Slayton deserves more credit and recognition for his talent.
Completely agree. We talked to him on the last pod. He's so good. I love Darius Slayton.
And if you pick up Jalen Waddle, you'd have
four good receivers.
And Kyle Rudolph as well. And Evan Ingram. Tight end, but you'll have him to throw down the field. He's just another threat running down the field.
And Evan Ingram.
Right.
Y'all could run 6 wide and have only 4 down linemen. Be the first time ever.
That'll prove Danny Dimes' greatness. If he's got all these weapons, can he squeak you guys in that playoff spot?
I absolutely think he can.
Danny
absolutely.
Dimes, the fastest player in the league.
I agree. I think he could definitely get in, especially with that division being pretty shaky. But
Yeah.
Prescott coming back, like you don't know, it's all up in the air right now.
I really think
100%.
it's going to come down to New York and Washington. Washington's got a really,
no Dallas.
no Dallas.
That's a hot take.
I mean, Washington's defense is just star-studded, but like
I am in love with Washington, especially if Heineke is their starting quarterback. I love Heineke.
he's a beast. But
I mean, they've
he
got
showed out.
Heineke and Fitzpatrick.
They're still. They
So
said
even if
that-
Heineke doesn't perform well, you still got
you got the man with
a
the beard.
pretty decent quarterback in Fitzpatrick.
They said that they're gonna have a quarterback battle in training camp. See who wins the
absolutely.
starting job. It's gonna be great.
But the
I'm also a big fan.
Absolutely.
I'm also a big fan of Chase Young.
you guys are sleeping on the Cowboys offense, so like, come
Oh
on.
no,
That could
I'm
be
not.
big one.
I have the Cowboys winning division. That's my early pick.
Dude, are
But-
sleeping
Cowboys
on the
winning the
Cowboys, though.
division.
You
Yeah.
didn't even acknowledge Dak Prescott being on that team before,
Dak is great, bro. Dak is the
Dak
best
is
quarterback in that
fantastic.
division.
and he's got all
Dallas
the
is-
weapons he needs.
Dak
All of
Dak has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the league, especially if he can come back from injury good.
He
Sure.
was top 2 last year.
He
before
was
his injury.
before his injury. Yeah, it was him and Mahomes.
He's so good.
I mean,
Love Dak.
Dallas is either finishing 7-10 or 8-9.
I haven't seen the
I
schedule,
didn't
so I
even-
don't know. Do you guys know your team schedule, or do you have your team schedule?
I know that
for
the
this?
Very
NFC East plays the AFC West and the
could try
NFC
to-
South, and
I
then a
could try
couple
to-
of other scattered games. I know that I'm pretty sure they play the Bears, Matt.
Who?
Steelers play the Bears.
The Giants.
Yeah, the Steelers play. I don't think the Giants might play the Bears. We always play you guys, so
They do.
play you
Um,
guys like once a year.
I have my Steelers schedule pulled up. I can tell you guys what I think is going to happen. An unbiased ranking of how I think the Steelers are going to perform next year. Our home slated games, we obviously play our division rivals. I think we beat the Ravens at home, we beat the Bengals at home, and we lose to the Browns at home. We play the Bears at home, which I think is a win. The Broncos at home, which I think is a win. The Lions at home, which I think is a win. The Raiders at home, which I think is a win. The Seahawks at home, which I think is a loss, and the Titans at home, which I think is a loss. So that starts our season with 3 losses at home and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. So we'd start, our home record would be 6-3. Our away record, we play our division rivals, which I think we lose to the Ravens on the road, and then we beat the Bengals and the Browns. We lose to Buffalo, we lose to Green Bay, we lose to Kansas City, and we beat the Chargers. So counting it all up, I think I had it like 10 wins or 11 wins, something like that. I don't know. I didn't do math right, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and we play the Vikings, which would be our 10th win. I think we go 10-7.
I think the Bears go 5-12. Like it's pretty sad to say, but
The Bears suck. I'm
yeah,
not.
I mean we need that quarterback, and our defense is still great, but like our
Okay.
offense just showed the past 2 years that it is horrible without that one player. Like
Mhm.
Nick Foles was just honestly almost cried a few games watching that, just how slow paced our offense was. And Andy Dalton coming in, like I think it's gonna get even worse. Like
I've been a secondary Bears fan for a while, just because I really like their players. I think they're fun to watch. I don't know. Matt's a Bears fan, and I've been
Oh,
following the
I always
Bears.
gas him up.
Just
Dude.
say that's the first time I'm hearing that.
Man's gasses them up all the time, so they were fun to watch for me.
I mean, according to you, in 2017, Telvin Smith is easily better than Khalil Mack.
That
I
is
almost-
a take. That is a take that I had in 2017.
I almost beat you with a pool cue that day. So,
Yeah, I almost got beat to shreds by Matt.
but it's all
Uh,
good because then
I
one
didn't
game into the
know-
season, you took all that words back, which I accepted your apology.
Yes, I did not know much about football then. However, I do know a lot now, and I can tell you that Khalil Mack is a top 3 edge threat in the league.
100%.
But TJ Watt
Behind
is number
Telvin
1.
Smith and who's
And
the other guy? Mario
Luke
Edwards.
Luke Kuechly.
Oh yeah, Luke Kuechly. And both the guys aren't in the league anymore. So,
Yeah, and Bobby Wagner, of course.
well, Bobby Wagner is he's not. He's
Yeah, but what were we saying before? I completely forgot.
I wanted to do the breakdown of the Giants schedule to
Oh,
see how
go
they
ahead.
do.
Go ahead. Yeah, I
home and
forgot
away.
about that.
So, starting with the division at home, Dallas, Philly, and Washington. I think that they can beat Dallas. I think they can beat Philadelphia. And I'm going to say they lose the game at home to Washington.
2 wins.
I say they beat Denver, they beat Vegas, they beat Carolina,
Big
and they
win streak
lose
coming
to
up.
it, and they lose to Atlanta and the Rams.
Okay.
So that's what 1, 2,
5
3,
wins.
4, 5. Yeah, so 5-3 on the home stint. As for the away games, I think we
Shouldn't
beat.
it be 5-4? Don't you get 9 home games and 8 away games?
No, we our 17th game is away at
Oh, okay.
Miami.
I got you.
As for the away, I think we beat all 3 other teams in our division.
Oh,
So we'll
so
just
you're sweeping your away.
I think no, we don't sweep the away. I mean division wise, yeah.
Division wise, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Division wise, yeah. So either way, I think we completely sweep Dallas and Washington. I'm sorry, Dallas and Philadelphia. We split with Washington. Away, I think we beat Tampa, New Orleans, and Chicago. And
Hold
I think
up.
we lose to Kansas City and the Chargers.
You just said you beat Tampa?
Yeah.
You beat
Bears did it, so I mean,
the New York Giants beating the Super Bowl winners, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I mean, look, they almost beat them this year. It was a close game. And
On
then they
the
beat them
road.
2 years ago. Granted, they didn't have the team that they did now, but they went right into Raymond James Stadium and they beat them in their own stadium. They almost did it again last year. I don't remember what the totals. You know what? No, I'm gonna look that up right now. But the final score was the Giants Buccaneers game.
I mean, Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, Tom Brady,
Daniel Jones, like all time, who knows? But what I'm hearing is the 2021 New York Giants are going to go on the road and beat the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers
anything can happen. It's
that have almost the exact same roster as they did when they beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs with better coaching and a better team, even with no line, still a better team.
What was the final score of the game last year?
That is
25-23.
That is probably the hottest take I have
25-23. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. I don't care if they got Mike Evans. I don't care if they got Chris Godwin. The New York Giants this year will walk into Raymond James Stadium and they will beat the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if they don't, I will give each of you $15.
Book it.
Word.
Y'all heard that.
I'll take some lunch.
Book it right now. Dan is paying for my Chipotle. Dan is paying for my Chick-fil-A. Dan is paying for my lunch one day. I'm telling you. When we go to Madison Square Garden and watch a Knicks game,
I'm getting Shake Shack on the house.
I'm getting Shake Shack. And when we record a No Shot Sports vlog and we go and we watch the Bears lose to the Steelers in Heinz Field, I am getting my hot dog and my beverage for free.
All right. Well, I mean, it depends on when they play.
I don't know. What week of the season did the Giants lose to the Bucks last year? Because no matter what the score is, they still lost.
1, 2, 3, 4. Week 8, so the halfway point.
Okay, fair. What week do they play this season?
I don't think that's out yet.
I thought it came out.
Is that out yet? I know that their opponents are out. I don't know if their schedule is out. I think it's a little too early for that.
Yeah, they have home and away. They just have.
Yeah, they only have like their opponents and where they're playing. I don't think they have the actual organization of a.
Yeah, all the dates are to be determined.
So if the Steelers are playing the Bears in Heinz Field in the middle of December, we are not going. I'm telling you right now. I'm not.
Come on, dude. It's not that bad. I mean, it was just snowing here on Thursday, but it's not too bad here.
I'm not freezing my ass off in Pittsburgh just to watch the Steelers probably lose.
The Bears?
Yeah, trust me, I have bad luck. We lost to the Jets when I went. We lost to the Jets. We didn't have a starting quarterback, but we still lost.
Last time the Bears and Steelers played, I mean,
the Bears won.
You were all confident. I was like, hey, man, don't doubt on the Bears.
And the Bears won, and I probably cried myself to sleep that night.
Bears won.
Yeah. I mean, I can never make a claim because I'm always going to be wrong. So Jalen Waddle's going to be the worst player in the draft. Zach Wilson's going to suck. And
Mac Jones is going to be the next Tom Brady.
And Teddy Bridgewater is just going to be a star-studded quarterback and win 4 MVP straight.
I just realized this upcoming season, depending on if Jones gets a lot of playing time, that could really determine the future for, like, I mean, I get it. It's Alabama and it's Nick Saban, but that could possibly make a difference in recruitment because if You don't see a great season out of Tua. You don't see a great season out of Jalen. You don't see a great season out of Mac Jones. It's going to make a quarterback want to go somewhere like Oklahoma or LSU. Just a little thought,
Yeah.
food for thought there.
Alabama's always gonna be that number one school.
No, I know
Yeah,
they're
but-
always going to be Alabama, the University of Alabama, but I mean,
I see where you're coming from.
the last great quarterback to come out of I mean, not great, but the best quarterback so far to come. I'm not even going to count
In
Tua because
recent
he hasn't
history.
even played a full season yet. But the best quarterback that they've recently had is sitting on the Giants bench right now, except for the game against what did he play? I think he played the game against Seattle and
Who are we talking about? I don't even know.
Karen, am I wrong?
Who are we talking about?
Who is it?
hold on. Can we pause for 1 second?
No, we
I know
can't.
it. Make
I
sure-
want you to. I want you to just tell me who it is because I have.
Am I mixing up?
I have,
No, I think
I know. I believe that
Alabama
you're right.
quarterback.
I just don't know who that is. I have no clue who you're talking about.
Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm mixing up McCoy and McCarron.
yeah, AJ McCarron. That's
McCoy-
what I'm thinking of. I think he's on the
Yeah,
bench.
it was, but
I'm keeping
oh
that
my
in.
god,
I'm
I'm
keeping
mixing up
that in.
AJ McCarron with Colt
Yeah.
McCoy. I'm thinking it was Colt McCoy who went to Alabama, and that it was McCarron that went to Texas.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping that in. That is funny.
He's on the Bengals. And he's just a backup. Like,
I'm
No,
not-
don't.
oh wait,
keep
I
that
don't
in.
think he's on the
I'm-
Bengals. I think he's
I'm
on the
so
Texans
happy.
now.
I got no editing to do for this podcast. so
No,
it's gonna be up so
don't do that
fast.
to me,
I'm
Danny.
keeping
Don't
it
do
in.
that to me,
That is so funny.
Danny.
All
Don't
right,
do
do
that.
we
to
got
me.
anything else to talk about? Do we want to talk about something?
How
super
sorry
fast?
Danny is because he mixed up AJ McCarron with Colt McCoy because they both start with like Mick.
Dan is sorry. That's what we could throw in there.
AJ McCarron is a free agent, actually.
Is
All
there
right, well,
any-
either way, my point was kind of proven.
Is there any
Best
veteran
quarterback to come out of Alabama within the last 10 or so years isn't even a starting quarterback and hasn't had that great of a career. That was
Yeah.
the point that I was trying to make. I just got the wrong player, but either way, I take Colt McCoy over AJ McCarron. I can't believe I flipped those two.
That's funny. That is funny.
Free podcast. Pretty good one.
Anything else we want to talk about? Anything?
No,
anything?
thank you for listening to the No Shot.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
think-
Wrap us up, Dan. Wrap us up.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to the No Shot Sports Podcast. I'm going to go learn my NFL players, make sure that I don't flip players just because they have the same 2 letters in the last name.
Dan's gonna go do some NFL quizzes on Sporkle.
Yeah. Sparkle quizzes.
He's gonna read up. Do we want to say mock draft next week?
I say next week is a good mock draft podcast.
Full first round mock
Full
draft.
first round.
Everyone, I think that'll be fun. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, we gotta do our research, but next week we will have our full first round mock draft out. Like Dan said, thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next week, hopefully.
All right. Peace out.
Have a good one, everybody.
Peace.